Following Forbes' pointing finger, it is a painting mounted above one of the work tables. The painting is crudely done as best you can tell. It is depicting the head and shoulders of a smiling female halfling. It might be stumped back when she was younger and had two eyes, but it's really hard to say with the poor artisanship. I guess this is a painting that her son made. There is something off about the painting. It's open. It's acting as a small door above the work table. A secret passage, you whisper? A way your headless friend left it ajar, says Phobe. A secret passage of Ruda here, you whisper. Phobe leaps up onto the table and goes through the passage. No, you hiss as you follow. You have to stoop low to clear through the did we pick up our gold, by the way? Our gold and gems, whatever we gave her. You have to stoop low to clear through the passage, then down a long stairway that you estimate must be taking you under street level. At the bottom is a chamber that is approximately 10 by 10 meters. The chamber contains a workshop similar in many respects to the one you were just in, except for some arcane components. What grabs your attention first is a human skull lying on its side atop a pile of bones that you presume might also be human. There's a large mortar and pestle on the table beside the bones with grey powder. Besides that is a bowl of liquid stain and a collection of paint brushes laid out. On the table is the puppet of a minotaur, complete with a carved bullhead. His left arm is detached in a vice. What? Laid out on the table is a puppet of a minotaur, complete with a carved bullhead. His left arm is detached in a vice. So can I use this? I mean, it is technically a puppet. On the floor are more puppet body parts, legs and arms mostly, but also several torsos and heads. Strange symbols are drawn onto the floor in various colors of chalk. Okay? The room smells so pungent that you cover your nose. There's another set of stairs going down. You creep over, listen, nothing. Well, maybe nothing. You think you might have heard a scream. If you did, it is some distance away. You turn back to Phobe. How did you find me? I heard you say puppet master to that man, Bonebrow. I got away from him. I knew about this place. Only puppets in the city are here, you say. You wonder how she got through the wall gate to go to the outer ring, to the second ring, but don't ask. Her fine dress was probably enough for that. Although now it is ruined with blood. You should leave. Go find Bonebrow and tell him I'm in trouble, you say, ensuring that you pronounce his name. Bonebrow. Right, she was calling him Bone Cow. Pronounce his name slowly in hopes to instill some respect. You look down the stairways. I'm going to need aid to get out of here alive. No, I'm your escort, you say. We can go to Boneface together. I don't have time with the halfling is dead. I need to fix something, save myself and my sister, you say. But good chance I'll die trying. If you don't leave, she'll die too. He shakes her head. You scowl at her. You consider tying her up with your puppet string and leaving her, but then she would be helpless for whoever comes along. No time, you think. Fine, you hiss. But stay behind me. Move as quiet as you can. Run if there's trouble. You take the first step. Why is she my escort? She pretty much can't fight. That was just a very lucky situation. Take the first step down the stairs. You turn back to her and you see a book. Any book, tell me. Oh, and if you see a book, any book, tell me. Her eyebrows knit together for a moment, then she nods. You take a deep breath. Please don't make me regret this, you whisper. Oh, I nearly forgot, she says, retrieving a small red vial from her sleeve. This will heal you. Your mouth drops. A potion of healing, you say? She nods. You look like you could use it. You had seen these used by higher ranking officers in Lord Wellington's army, but you never had access to them. Now you're behaving like a proper escort, you say, giving her a wink as you take the vial and inspect it. The vial is very small, only a swallow's worth of liquid in it. There's something etched into the glass, a rune of some sort. You shrug and uncork the bottle and quaff the contents. It didn't even give me a choice in this matter, but okay. I've increased to 6. We probably have to get into combat, I feel like. Warmth spread through your body. You hear a short high-pitched note like beautiful singing. That's more like it. You smile at Phobe. Any more gifts up your sleeve for me? She shakes her head. We're wasting time. You shut the secret passage door, confirming there is handle to reopen it if needed. Hopefully, if someone finds the carnage in the shop, they will not realize where the perpetrators have gone. Of course, agents of Ruda here would know of the secret passage. With you and Phobe shut inside, you turn away and start down the stairs, doing your best to trade off between going as fast as possible and making the least amount of noise. Down you go, deeper and deeper. Thankfully, there are occasional low-lit lanterns mounted on the wall. I mean, this passageway must be ventilated, right? Without ventilation, this passageway must be filled with smoke from all the fucking lanterns and shit. But okay. Lanterns mounted on the walls. It would be pitch black. The air is getting cooler. The walls go from roughly hewn stone to clay braced with iron brackets. and thick wooden beams to stonework with occasional runes etched into them. That's probably not a good thing that there are runes all over the place. Although you cannot read the runes, they're somewhat familiar. You've seen similar style runes recently. The old city, you think. You can't remember the name that Kriya gave you. This is suicide, you think. Even if you could find someone to take your payment, would they honor it now that you have slew their agent and trashed their shop? Maybe I can pay extra, you think. You have far more gold than your debt requires, and that huge glowing gem that has to be worth a chest of gold. Still, it seems like a long shot, but what choice do you have? You can't hide long from Ruda here, even if you could. What about your sister? No, I need to sell this now, you think. Stop, says Phoebe, breaking you out of your thoughts. Shh, you hiss at her. Phobe's eyes are wide. What is it? You whisper. Goblins, she says. I smell them. Yes, we are going underground, so... Goblins. Great. Goblins could be worse, could be better. It's the rags that really terrify you. Wargs. Wargs are those dog-looking things that the goblins were riding. Yeah, probably those. Armed with an elven bow and paladin's blade, you take comfort in knowing that you're better armed this time around. Giving Foam your most concerned look, you say, certainly now you must agree that you should leave and go get Bonebrow. Phoebe pauses for a moment, then her eyes harden. No, she says in a voice that is final. I stay with you. Listen, you hiss, pointing at Phoebe's forehead. Whatever it is in there, you need to let Phoebe be. You're endangering a little girl, and I will find out what you want to know. Gods, I swear I will learn what I can of Enuxius and return to the castle and report it to you. Every last detail. Phoebe stares at you for a moment, then smirks. You're wasting time. Not all puppets are made of wood, you think, as you turn and continue down the stairs. A shout echoes from below, followed by another voice. The first voice is rather high-pitched, while the other is raspy. There are words, but you cannot understand them. Soon there is clacking sound and more shouts. Continue on a faster rate. At a faster rate now. With all the commotion downstairs, you doubt anyone will hear your footfalls. Soon you are at the bottom of the stairway, which is a small chamber with two exits. One to the left, the other to the right. There's nothing in the chamber except for a sputtering lantern and some wet footprints coming from the left exit to the right. The walls are inlaid with petroglyphs. I mean, I've heard of hieroglyphs, but a petroglyph? I'm not sure what that is. Very small statues set into wall with heads and limbs of people and creature. You could tie a rope to them and use them as excellent handholds. The shout and clanking sound are coming from the right. You step close to Phoebe to keep your voice low. I'm going to check out what's going on that way. You say, pointing to the right-hand passage. I need stealth, so you stay here, look around, find a place to hide until I return. To your surprise, Phoebe allows you to leave her. You sneak down the winding passage, then up a flight of stairs. Hopefully the Alathian blade doesn't start like shining for whatever reason. That's probably not gonna end well. Take down the winding passage and then up a flight of stairs. At the top, light streams out from a short hall ahead. Creeping down this hall, soon peeking around the entranceway into a large chamber. In the middle of the chamber is a pair of what must be magically animated puppets wrestling each other, their wooden bodies clacking together. There are more obvious puppets than the others you have seen, because these has been stripped down. No clothes, no painting for muscle definition or facial features like Ung or the King. Just smooth wood marred in place by scuff marks. For their faces there is nothing but two small glowing gems for eyes. Behind one puppet is a halfling and behind the other is a man, both seemingly cheering for the respective champion. Aside from cheering, the halfling and the man barks out words, perhaps orders, directed at the puppets in a language you don't know. So a bunch of puppet masters down here. On the far side of the chamber is a dais leading in a set of large double doors. Even from here you can see a large new lock that has been installed in the door. A good lock. You spot a large key on the ring of the halfling. That looks like it might go to the lock. The ring and the key are bound to be scraggly bearded and halfling by a cord of leather. You don't have to be a man of opportunity such as you are to know something important is on the other side of the door. Those doors. Arcane symbols are carved into the floor in a single line, wall to wall, a few meters into the room. Some of the inlaid symbols are colored in with different shades of chalk. At least one of the symbols appear to be stained with blood. You're outnumbered, and either one of those large stripped-down puppets appear like they could take your head off with one strike from its large wooden fist. As a gambler, you know bad odds when you see it. Let us see what is the other way, you think, as you creep back the way you came. As you enter the small As you enter the small chamber, Phoebe steps down from the stairs. He asks you what you saw and you dismiss her quickly. Nothing we want to deal with just yet. Yeah, that's probably not a good idea. When fucking two hunkin pieces of wood with like two other people who could just shout and call in like a fucking army and goblins. The situation, as I said, is beyond fucked. You slink down the other passage. About 10 meters from the hall, you stop and listen. There's still the shouts and cracking of wood in the opposite direction, but nothing ahead. There is cooler air, cold almost, wafting to you from ahead. There are no lanterns this way, with only the spluttering lantern from the small chamber behind. It is soon too dark to see. You pull out your glowing gem to light your way. The footprints are wetter here. Kneeling, the glowing gem, are you talking about the blood gem that we got for cosmetic or whatever it was for? Footprints are wetter here. Kneeling down, you inspect the liquid, just water as best as you can tell. For once it is just water, not blood or sewage, you think. Continuing, you're soon in another chamber that is also 10 by 10 meters, like a box or like octagon. You immediately see why the footprints were wet. It's a thin underground river, slowly flowing along the right-hand wall, taking about a third of the room. Water had splashed up along part of the edge of a narrow river. The footprints emerged from that. Using the gem's light, you can see from particles floating by. The river is deep and the current is slow. The water pushes up against the far wall and into a tunnel that runs in the direction you came from. Would this be another means past that door, you wonder? You get as close as you can to the tunnel, leaning over the water to peer in. There is clearance for your head if you were to swim into the tunnel. However, the gem's light does not allow you to see very deep. Perhaps the tunnel narrows down in. Okay, so it's there's a gap between the top of the tunnel and the water surface. So we could probably like go up and like swim just at the surface to like keep breathing. But who knows how like deep it's going to get later, and it's going to be very difficult to swim against the current, even if it's slow. That's probably going to be difficult. We might exhaust ourselves and kill ourselves. This is not going to end well. Let's see. However, the gem's light does not. Yeah. Perhaps the tunnel narrows further down, in which case if you swam, you'd be forced underwater. You catch the glint of what looks like metal. You lean over further, relying on your precarious one-handed grip to keep you from toppling into the river. Yes, it's metal. Perhaps a grate barring the tunnel. Consider your options. You could strip down and swim, but you probably have to leave your sword and gold. You might be able to keep your equipment if you find something upstairs to float on. Finally, you could go back and take another look at the guards and try to come up with a plan to get through the door. Probably not a good idea to leave my stuff. I'm already extremely weak, and without my stuff I'm pretty much dead. So let's look for some flotation device upstairs. All those wooden puppets parts, you think. I need to get something I can float on, you say to Phoebe. I have to hurry back upstairs. Maybe if you're lucky, you can leave her up there. Maybe shut the secret door on her. Her eyes cloud over. She scowls. Why are you fooling around with the water? I want to back way in, as you say as you start to jog. What makes you think you can swim anywhere important? She says. The river is running the right direction, you say, quickening your pace. Bob continues to protest, calling it a waste of time, and this is doing nothing for your quest. But whoever is possessing her body, probably the succubus. It's not the succubus. It's probably another demon. It obviously wouldn't make sense if it was succubus. The succubus was already manifested, so I highly doubt it would be able to take anyone's body up. And it already has taken Avis's body up, so how would it take over two bodies at the same time? So that wouldn't make any sense. It's probably another person. Probably the succubus does not appreciate your ingenuity, and why would that surprise you? Everyone knows that demons rely on brutal strength and ferocity for everything, although you might have expected a little more from a succubus. Anyway, you do not bother to argue. Instead, you shush her so that the guards don't overhear you as you get to the stairway. You then leap up the stairs 3 at a time, headless of whether Phoebe can keep up. That's good. You smile as you enter the shop chamber, and behold the variety of puppet parts. Phoebe is watching inside the doorway, her eyes watchful. Does she know that I wish to lock her up here? You wonder. Phoebe, help me find something. Phoebe, help me select something for flotation, you say. Just grab anything. She growls. It's all wood. I was thinking of this Minotaur's head, you whisper, pointing at a bull's head. I could like straddle the snout to give my lower body bouncy, which ought to be enough. The horns will make fine handles for carrying, but maybe the torso over there would be better. Not so easy to carry, but good to lie on and paddle while. Pick something, you say, cutting you off. Torso it is then, you say. Yeah, it's probably a good idea. The skull would probably be like hollowed out and probably like filled with water. But then again, I mean, the torso could not be filled with water. I mean, I don't know. But I think the torso is a better option anyway. Also it is then, you say. Help me lift it up. Lift it up yourself, she says, backing deeper into the passage. Demons are naturally suspicious, you suppose. With a sigh, you pick up the torso. A slim woman which allows for you... What? A slim woman? With a sigh, you pick up the torso. A slim woman which allows for you to wrap your arm around its waist. We didn't... Is the Minotaur's puppet female? What the fuck? Still, it's heavier than it looks. You hurry back into the passage, close the secret door. You fumble in the dark with your free hand and pull out your glowing gem again. Hurry down the stairs.